Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Relyks, and today I have for you guys an Advanced Wars match. I know today is Sunday, and usually on Sundays I post my Kingdoms of Amalur series that I have going. However, if you guys haven't noticed already, those of you who have been following me around already, I've been sick and I've been out for a few days, so I haven't been able to record anything as well as put anything out. So I do apologize for that. This past week we did finish Halo 2, in which my brother did not. He unfortunately got sick as well. So we didn't post anything. We didn't post anything really at all, and we haven't been able to do make any content for you guys. So I'm only starting to get better right now, just a little bit. So I do apologize if I end up coughing at any time during this video, but I will try my best to keep it down. Obviously, I am still recovering, so videos may be a little bit short this coming week, but for sure once I get better we'll go back to pretty much posting daily. Again, because we finished, I just wanted to give you guys a little update what's coming up next. Obviously this probably isn't the video to do it, but just real quick, Halo 3 is coming up, as well as some more hockey stuff and maybe even another Advanced Wars match. We'll see, but for now this is all I got for you guys, so please hang in there with me and as I try to recover. But for today we got this Advanced Wars match. Now this is just a public match against a guy named wavegoodbye. Now the guy, he has a very good rating. I believe it was a 1100 something rating, as well as a record of a 17-1. So based on what I've seen in his profile, looks like an alt account, but you never know, right? Maybe the guy's just really good. Either way, it's a pretty good matchup, pretty even matchup. Now it's an interesting match between Drake and Rachel. Obviously Drake is a C unit specialist, however there are no C units on this map. It's 3 bases and an airport, so quite the interesting matchup. Obviously Drake without C units is still deadly because of his powers. His regular power does 1 damage minus half fuel, and then super does 2 damage minus half fuel and makes it rain, which makes it harder for my units to traverse the terrain. As for me, I chose Rachel. I am in the pink, and of course if you guys have been around, you guys know that Rachel is one of my favorite codes to use. So obviously on a pretty public fun public match, I decided to go with one of my favorites, just to get things going, and obviously go with Rachel. So as you guys can see from the map, 3 bases, 1 airport, 1 base and 1 airport need to be captured, as well as 1 comm tower each. The comm towers themselves relatively close to the bases. Probably never going to be, a real issue for either to lose. However, you never know how your opponent may respond. This is one of those matches where I don't know how it was going to go, and I thought it was actually going to go my way from the get-go, but unfortunately things happen, and the match takes a turn here and there, but we'll see what happens. Obviously the HQ being out this far is not an issue, with 2 bases being your strong side, so it's not going to be an issue either for the HQ capture. It's just a matter of probably the corners as well as the middle, with no terrain blocking these middle pathways here. Easily vehicles and infantry can get to the center to help reinforce the center. The corners, though, a little bit more difficult to reinforce, seeing as the bases are about 2 turns away if you build like a tank or something. So very interesting terrain to traverse, and we'll see how that plays a part. This map is called All Roads Lead to Seoul. So never played on it. I don't think I've actually seen anyone play this map before, so to me, I'm going in fresh. It's a new map for me, and this just get started and see how this goes. Excuse me. So I do apologize again. Like I said, I am still recovering. But yeah. So Drake is first player. I'm second player. As you guys know, I like to be second player. So obviously, I'm going to speed through the first couple turns. Obviously, the same thing, capture phase. You know, we're going to pretty much do similar moves. Slight differences here and there. Obviously, one he went to the back capture, I went to the down capture. So pretty much self-explanatory. Got to get the captures going, get as much money flowing as possible. Now, some of these capture phases is going to be different because, as you guys can see, we're already going a little differently. He captured the back city, right? I did not, and I'm already spreading out my units and going out farther. And I'm also bringing out the first tank. Now, I brought out the first tank as second player. I had the funds to do it with 2 infantry and a tank at 9,000 funds. However, I thought to myself, after I built this, I didn't need to build it. There's no reason for me to build it. Even if I go down here, the tank's not going to hit anything, and he could build a tank out here and, you know, easily just counter me, just, you know, keep me at my distance. So I forewent this city, or even this airport capture, for this tank that did nothing. So honestly, it was a huge blunder on my part. Honestly, I look back on this match and that was a huge mistake. But we'll see what happens. So obviously, things keep progressing. You know, nothing special. Capturing, you know. And if you guys don't know who Rachel is and what she does, she has a day-to-day power of recovering 3 HP on properties. So I can keep my units on the front lines, you know, or get them back out there much quicker with the recovery. So Drake has a minus 10%, I believe, or is it 20% on air units. So that's a downside for him being on this map. As for me, I have no downside. It's just the downside of extra repairs if I decide to do that. So, quick note. I sent my tank to the middle, realizing there's no real reason to put it down here in the south. Now that this guy can help box out things in the middle. However, again, there's nothing here. I didn't need this tank, and again, these 2 properties are now not being captured right away, nor is my comm tower. So a lot of mistakes from me early on. The only good side, you know, bright side about it is I get the corner base cities, and compared to him, you know, he's still going with 1 more. He did send a tank. He built it here, and he did send a tank over here. So again, now my tank is out of position, and there's a tank there to hit my infantry for free if I don't do anything about it. So we'll see what happens next. So obviously I get all my captures going this turn. I am ahead in the capture game as of right now. I built another tank, as well as retreat my tank backwards, so I stay out of range of his, as well as being able to reinforce the 1 infantry that does get hit. Alright, next is Drake's turn. Again, just continuing the capture game. Moves his tank onto a city in the bottom right. Again, just gaining territory, right? So something I should have planned ahead of time. Then he builds an APC out of the bottom base. Now this is an interesting build. The capture game is pretty much already over. There's not many properties left. Obviously there's 1 of each in the corners, as well as mine that I didn't capture, right? As well as the comm towers, which both players will get their comm towers in due time. So this APC coming out is actually an interesting move. What APCs can do is boost your units, like if he's right here where this infantry on the forest is, and he builds more infantry out of this base, they could go into the APC and drop out that exact same turn, and then the APC can move again if needed. So quite the interesting unit, but also quite the interesting time to build it. See how that plays a part. So as you guys can see, he hasn't gotten the corner city yet in the bottom right, but I'm capturing the top left. So already I have a little bit of an advantage as far as capturing the outside properties away from my territory. Obviously I have not captured my airport yet, which is a big blunder on my part still. And again, 1, 2, 3, a comm tower, an airport, and a city. Whereas he's already capturing the city. His comm tower is going to get captured next turn, and he's getting the final city over there. I really totally messed up. In here, I don't know why I did that, to be honest, because there's a tank here. That's a free shot. Huge mistake on my part. I don't know what I was thinking, but, you know, there's that. So I do build a tank in the north because I see this tank. Obviously, this tank is going to go up and hit my infantry. It was such a dumb move by me. Don't know what I was thinking. There you go. And so the APC loaded infantry, dropped him off out there. So again, this APC can help transport infantry to the front lines much faster than if my guys were to walk. Not to mention, this is his strong side with 2 bases. So me with only 1 base, and I do not have my airport yet, it's going to be hard for me to keep this corner occupied with my troops. So I build another tank. Again, you're going to see a lot of tanks this match. So finally, I get my comm tower and city going, but I don't have my airport yet. I need to use the one guy who is here to capture, because I need this 1 base to keep building vehicles. What I do get is a nice kill as well as extra support. This tank is out of range, and if this guy gets the first strike, this guy could come down and hit him from here. Or otherwise, he has to go from right here, which, you know, is not really going to be the best engagement, but it'll be okay. So I interrupt his comm tower so he doesn't get that extra 10% attack bonus. Every little bit helps right now. So because I stupidly let my infantry get hit on that mountain, he became a 3. That 3 infantry was able to interrupt the capture for 1 extra turn, which will give me a slight edge. Just for a turn though. So as you guys can see from the builds, you guys can see on screen, I got infantry scattered all around the area, but I have tanks all on the front lines and in defensive positions. So if any of my infantry get hit, specifically ones like on properties, my tanks will be able to support them relatively easily. And I am going to finish getting my captures as well. The only thing I'm missing is the airport. So now the guy has a choice with this tank. He can sacrifice it to stop the capture in the bottom, or he can try and hit a tank, or he can just sit there and wait for me to do the first move. He does go for the attack, so good engagement by him. I honestly was thinking an 8-6, not 8-5. I will note that this guy got a lot of high rolls on his attacks this match, and again, you guys know my bad luck, right? So as you guys can see, he is foregoing my capture. So he's letting me have the city to get that tank hit. Obviously, he's trying to cut me off so the tank can't attack his tank, so that's a good defensive move. But yeah, he let me have the city. So this turn he builds 3 tanks. 3 tanks, all of his bases. So, interesting. Again, like I said, a lot of tanks. So I finished my captures, got the comm tower, got the city, finally going for the airport. My tank moves down, hits the APC, uses the infantry, destroy it. My tank retreats to the city. Again, I'm Rachel, so I will recover 3 HP on my next turn. And I get a nice shot on his tank. So that's really good, and I still get the city. So now I have a capture lead by 1. That is the only city difference right now. Until I get my airport. Then by that time, I will have a 19 to 17,000 capture advantage. That 2k actually plays a huge part in this match. So again, I can't really do anything else, so I just move into defensive positions and make sure that I'm ready to defend and attack on all fronts with tanks. He can't attack into me, but I also can't really attack into him. So this is kind of going to be like the standstill of this match. Obviously he's going to take the tank engagement, having 2 tanks now coming into support constantly. And he also goes for my city capture. Alright, so, you know, again, tanks, more tanks, infantry. That's all you're really going to see. So obviously, now my guy's an 8. I do a hit. My other tank goes for repairs. My other tank strikes. And this time, I go and clear out the infantry so I can protect my city. The only thing about this that's bad is this guy can now move onto the city and get the first strike on my tank. That is the only really downside to this move. This tank can also move in and attack mine as well. But again, you know, with my tanks being on cities that can repair 3 HP, it's easier for me to reinforce the front lines if needed by just sending them back 1 turn, repair 3, and then come back in. So I'm hoping that my repairs will get me the slight edge. So I also move my guys over in the north in a way that if he attacks me first, I will get the better end of the deal. Again, I do have to repair if I am on the city, but with the extra income going, I don't really mind having to repair the extra damage. So again, infantries are all in a position to reinforce each other as well as tanks, so neither player can really strike each other. So again, his infantry move around, destroy mine, stops the capture. He knows he can't get it. Tank gets the first strike as I predicted. The other tank moves in, gets the first strike as well. His other tank moves in and hits me too, so it's a good move right there for him. And again, more tanks. 2 more tanks coming out of these bases. So a lot of tanks coming out. My turn rolls in. Go for a kill on the bottom right. Tank moves down. I was hoping for that kill. Oops. I was hoping for that kill. However, it didn't end up in my favor. So I have a 22 to 25%. I was hoping that he had some chip damage from the previous attack, but unfortunately that didn't turn out that way, so I had to use both tanks to attack. I also moved my tanks down and do a double strike, getting the kill. And I move my infantry here without attacking, that way he has to use 2 units to destroy him if he wants to get through. I also move my tanks, since nothing's happening here, I move 1 tank down that I newly built, and the other one's going back over here to help support if needed. Because there's nothing happening over in the north, so obviously everything's happening in the bottom right corner. First battlecopter for the map comes out from me. Again, Drake, you probably don't want to build battlecopters because they're not as strong. If I remember correctly, they do 20% less attack as Drake. So even with the comm tower, they're only doing 10% less. That's still a big difference. So again, I move my infantry back into defensive positions, and I move my tank up as well. Even if his 10 attacks me, I will have a slight advantage. I will not die very easily, but let's see what he does. So again, he takes some engagements, tank on there, repairs, smart, and he gets another first strike. This time I do not have a tank until this guy repairs to strike that. And more tanks roll in. Again, nothing's happening in the north. Still nothing happening, but he still builds tanks. And in order to counter my battlecopter, obviously, my opponent builds an anti-air. Pretty straightforward, right? So, no-brainer. Battlecopter moves. I move it diagonally, kind of. That way, it could go on either side of the mountain if needed. Tank goes back for repairs. New tank comes in. I take defensive positioning. That way, he can't just strike into me. And this guy is pretty safe. Neither of these infantry are strong enough to attack him, and this one can't reach, so nice good hit for me. And of course, move more units around. Again, that tank is now over here, able to support if needed. I also built another battlecopter. So a lot of tanks, a lot of battlecopters, and his anti-air is here. So he can't strike into me just yet. But we have to keep in mind that our supers are coming in, and they are going to play a huge part. Both supers do a lot of damage to units. Obviously, like I explained before, Drake's has the -2 HP, half fuel, and makes it rain. And then as for Rachel, obviously, if you guys don't know, she fires 3 silo missiles, doing 3 HP of damage for each shot. Each one has a different target location. However, we can manipulate it a little bit. If you're a pro, you know how to manipulate it for your own safety as Drake. But for here, you know, I'm not really looking to strike specific areas yet because there is so much still going on. Obviously, the infantry one is going to hit here. So what I'm looking for is, you know, maybe hitting the corners if possible, because those are where the battles are going to be happening the most. Alright, so he moves around his tanks. Again, he can't do anything, I can't do anything. builds a second anti-air to counter my second battlecopter. And again, him building anti-airs is not bad either, because the anti-airs with the comm tower can one-shot my infantry, I believe, even on planes, if I remember correctly. Yes, so even on planes, I do get one-shot by anti-air, so it serves as double purpose. Alright, so my turn rolls in. So I decide this turn, alright, he moved back a little. We have supers coming in, but he still needs 17k. I'm like, I don't think he'll get it. I really don't think he'll get it. But I move in my units so much that I put myself into position to be hit by a lot of tanks. As you guys can see, there's a lot of things happening here. So, again, I go for my repairs as well, because why not, right? If I don't have to rebuild tanks out here and send them all the way across the map, that's better for me. So I continue the tanks in the north since I only had 3. You want to kind of match, so I know there's 5 here, and there's 3, so 2 more going. I move my second battlecopter to the center, so that way it splits his anti-air, and he has to chase me. So he takes 1 engagement in the very south. Just like the forest engagement, 8-4, I don't agree with how that happened here. 8-4 and then 8-4 again on a shoal. There's a difference in defense, and again, he's gaining the highest roll, so going back to when I got struck first, again, high rolls play a huge part. Luck plays a huge factor. 8-5 on the plains in the north, going back down to the south, 8-4. If we just take a look real quick at the damage calculator, the percentage is saying 54 to 62%. Again, so that means he got a high roll on the bottom one, not the top one. Either way, that means he got also a high roll on the forest as well. So, little things here and there add up. Another 8-5 in the north, 7-6 as well. Now he's very close to his super. He just needs 50 more, so he takes 1 infantry engagement, and he gets the 9-5. Super comes in. So, all my units, as you guys can see on the screen, have taken 2 damage, as well as half their fuel is gone. So this is going to play a huge part, specifically for the battlecopters. They don't have much fuel left to fly around and be able to do stuff. Not to mention battlecopters, as they get lower in HP, they become much weaker. Even going against vehicles, they don't play too much of a part if they're damaged. So this is a big super for this guy. Tank rolls in, one-shots my tank on the city. So let's take a look real quick how much that did. I just want to see because I didn't remember. So he had a 54 to 61% on the city guy, and again, little chip damage here and there apparently adds up, but 54 to 61%, he did do the 60s. Another high roll destroys my tank. Now he continues to move in with his units. Let me get that out of the way. Tank moves in, destroys another tank. Again, I no longer have a 10 in the area, nor are my recovering tanks strong enough to fight these tanks anymore. Anti-air moves in, kills my infantry as well. So again, I was calculating that he would not get his super this turn. However, like I said before, I put my units so far out that he was able to do so much damage to them and get his super. So while he didn't really get, he didn't give me extra power charge from the units he just killed here, in general, he was able to damage more of my units before I could damage his. So, you know, that's where the huge advantage came in for him. Up to that point, I think I was definitely having the slight edge in the match. So, now it's my turn, and I gotta think about this move, right? I gotta look at it. What can I do? Well, I have to use my super this turn. It's a guaranteed. So, I use my super real quick. So, the target is here. One's infantry, so that's obvious. The other one is here for, I believe, the cost. And then, of course, it's going to shoot the infantry ball again for HP. So, boom, hits twice here, and then once in the bottom. So that helps me because it definitely hits all these guys, and it misses my tanks. I didn't have to move any of my units, and they were all safe. So that's good. So a battlecopter moves in, hits the tank, other tank moves in. Again, I was hoping for that kill. So again, I was hoping that my battlecopter was able to do chip damage just as much as his, but unfortunately that did not happen. I didn't get the kill, so I had to use my other tanks. And my biggest priority, obviously, is to kill that anti-air so my battlecopter is safe. I don't use my other tank. In fact, I actually attack his, then reversing the numbers. So, slight counterattack that worked out decent. He has to build another anti-air or move this one back over here in order to prevent my battlecopter from being a threat now. So, overall, decent counterattack. Not great, but decent. And again, I'm going for infantry kills, but I am kind of throwing these guys away. Top left, now the tanks are too damaged to fight, so I do trying to retreat them a little bit so I can get repairs, all while trying to keep an infantry wall up. Again, I need to send tanks down there to help support them. I move a tank onto the HQ. He can't do anything about this right now. So, honestly, it's just to, you know, prevent him from moving too far out in that area. Other battlecopter now comes back down to support, considering that I hit this one and this one's out of position. So, looking back, I actually should have sent this up because there is no anti-air up here and this one's damaged. So, we would have to split this decision to send this one up or down. Even though he has a battlecopter in the back, again, it's not as strong because it has a minus 10% attack. Alright, and because of the repairs, I had no choice but to build infantry this turn because I just don't have the money to, you know, to build more. You know, more tanks or anything. So, rain's gone now, and we're back to Drake. So, the storm has passed. As second player, I am back up on top as far as value, but just by a few K. Unit-wise, I have a 6 unit, you know, advantage. However, if you look at the map, quite a lot of units are damaged. Not just from the super, but in general, my tanks are pretty bashed up. I mean, comparably to his are still healthy. Mine are completely damaged. So, kind of slight disadvantage in that department. So he kills a tank, and then go back. He likes to go up and down with his attacks and movements. I don't know why. Tank moves in. Again, nice hit on there. Another tank gets another hit. That one's lucky I survived that. Kills the tank. Goes for a attack on the city, so that's good for him. Again, this right here, kind of funny because I am going to get the repairs. And because his anti-air is trapped, he decides just to hit the infantry. Builds a medium tank. So this is the first super unit on the map. Medium tank in the south. Again, I don't have anything here. Even if my battlecopters were healthy, that medium tank is much stronger than my units. So it's going to definitely prove to be very deadly. And again, with all the repairs that are happening, I'm going to lose quite a bit of money. So, good thing I stocked up on the infantry saving, right? So again, I need to get something to counter that medium tank. So I get a nice hit. Again, the tank will take a couple turns to get to the front lines. So I was able to wipe out the rest of his units out here, all while, you know, keeping my guys alive. So now he can't really do anything. So I have a turn to relax, recover, and get my units back up to shape. All while in this corner, I'm starting to fight back as well. Again, he pushed a little too hard. So now my units are able to fight back and get some good hits. Regardless that my tanks are damaged, again, he can't attack into the city tank very strongly with 2 weakened tanks. So again, I sacrificed a couple infantry to get a couple infantry kills. It definitely wasn't worth it. But, you know, it is what it is. So now he has a little bit of an advantage as far as, you know, healthier infantry, but it's not that much. So again, that super decreased my battlecopter fuels. You can see they're down to 30s. They are going to run out of fuel eventually. Because of the way things happened, and considering the co-powers, he has a 20 co-power generated, 20k that is, and then I only have 7. He's going to get his super first again, probably. So I go full defense. I built 3 artilleries this turn. My mindset behind this is, specifically for the corners, 1 artillery in each corner will prevent his tanks from marching across, you know, my infantry. As you guys can see in the top left, there are 0 infantry for him to use to capture my cities. So even if his tanks dominate this area, they're not going to do, you know, he can't capture the cities. So my mindset was to get this artillery right up to the front lines right here and just set up for shelling. There's only tanks, and he can't one-shot infantry. So that one will handle that. This one will head to the middle to guard against all these guys, so he can't capture these cities. And then of course this one, I have the advantage in the corner until this medium tank comes, in which a artillery is actually a good response to a medium tank so long as you have extra units to support it. But again, with the comm tower in effect and an anti-air, he can easily punch through my walls. Medium tank can one-shot infantry on roads. I think they can on planes too. Same thing for the anti-air. So it's going to be dangerous still, regardless. And of course, he's probably just going to reinforce with more tanks. So, as you guys can see, he can't do anything in the north except for mop up a few infantry. I don't have the tanks to keep hammering down on him. So, you know, we'll see how things turn out. But, I move my units back for repairs. Medium tank is now here. I kind of baited him. If he attacks this tank, this artillery will get the first strike. So that's kind of, you know, great. The only problem is there's a tank here and an anti-air here. These guys can move in as well. I think the tank might be able to one-shot me, honestly. So if he's a 9... yeah, so he can one-shot my infantry with the tank or the medium tank, but the only difference is he doesn't have the movement to attack my artillery. So kind of safe in that department. Go for a nice tank kill on the top. Artillery is starting to move in. I move it here so he can't attack these tanks. Sacrifice all my infantry so he can't destroy my tanks there. And yeah, he's letting me get some couple good shots in the middle on his infantry. I don't know why he's throwing them away like that. But again, my battlecopters are running out of fuel. It's looking really, you know, bleak for them. I was debating whether or not is it time to sacrifice them and just kind of throw them away. You know, let the anti-airs just kill them. But, you know, I gotta try and make use of them as much as I can. So, my positioning was not good, as you guys can see in the middle. He was able to attack my artillery and do some damage. Now, that sucks. I lost a lot of units, a lot of infantry. Again, they were damaged from the storm, but, you know, it's not as bad as it looks, to be honest. So again, he keeps using his tanks to attack my infantry, letting his units get hit too. But now, again, both fronts here, in middle and top, looking a little scary. But again, my repairs play a big part in me staying alive. So right now, even though it's my turn, we're pretty much even. But again, it's my turn as second player, so I have the chance to counterattack and do some damage. Artillery doesn't move. I attack the tank instead, and then I kill it off with my other tank. Infantry, attack from the city, attacking infantry. Battlecopter, even though mine's an 8, I still do a lot of damage to his. His is a weaker battlecopter than mine, so I don't mind taking that engagement at all. Again, I move my tanks to defend center, so he can't just attack into me. I'm going full retreat in the north. Again, 0 infantry to capture, so there's no reason for me to be there. Absolutely no reason for me to be there. And of course I move my artillery to defend. Nice nice defensive positioning. Battlecopter moves to the center to help reinforce. Anti-air down here is probably going to move up as well. Again, I need to just keep building artillery to fend off this medium tank for now on the bottom right. There's no reason for me to overextend since I do have the extra city. Again, I am constantly getting 2k extra over my opponents every turn. I also built another battlecopter, and I do not base skip infantry, and a mech. This mech will help provide a little bit of support against these tanks. Because you don't want a tank attacking into a mech, nor do you want your tanks getting hit by a mech on an attack. So he retreats most of his units. He can't really do anything, so he wants to get his tanks to full health. Antar moves to the center as I thought. And again, in the bottom right, there's nothing happening, but he builds the second super unit of the game, a rocket launcher in the south. So he has built both super units in the game. Medium tank, rocket launcher. And I haven't built one yet. Again, as you guys can see from now being my turn, I have lost the funds. And I don't have enough to even build a medium tank or a rocket of my own. So again, I'm relying on my repairs and these artilleries, these smaller units, to be able to do the damage needed, against these bigger units. Probably not. I probably got to get my own super unit sometime, so we'll see what happens going forward. Going into this turn, I also realized my battlecopter's dangerously low on fuel. This 8 has 16 left. This 6 has 23. And another super is coming. Heck, if he used his power on this, this next turn, he could even, make them run out of fuel possibly in the next 2 turns. So I had to be careful about that. So again, staying defensive, not pushing too hard, staying out of range of this anti-air as well. And I'm moving my units to engage this rocket launch, or this medium tank. There's not too many units here, so I wanted to make sure I get in there and attack, or at least hit the medium tank before this rocket gets in there. Because if this rocket helps support, then it's kind of not good for me. So I needed to make a big wall for my artilleries. Even if he were to hit one, I have the other one to back it up. So I decided to keep my battlecopters alive by building this APC. As you guys can see from the movement, I can move it right in between both of the battlecopters this next turn. So even if he uses his power to decrease their fuel, this one to 5 and this one to 10, I will still have enough fuel to resupply them. And even if he uses his powers, they can still do something. They're still good against infantry. If I attack a tank, it'll do a couple damage here and there. So they're still useful. I wanted to definitely keep them alive. I think the APC was definitely worth it. Medium tank in the bottom attacks into my infantry. Uses his other infantry as well. Rocket moves into cover. And he moves his tanks in closer as well. So he's laying his medium tank on a city, by the way, get hit by my artillery first. Now it's only one artillery, so it's not going to do as much damage as I would like it to do. He definitely took a defensive formation here, forming walls across the entire map. And again, our next supers are closing in slowly but surely. So again, I do get the hit. Only 3 HP. On his turn, it's going to recover and become a 9. So it really didn't do anything since he was on defensive terrain. APC recovers or replenishes my battlecopter fuel, and his anti-airs are out of position. They can't touch me. So I go in and I start doing some damages here and there, and I even split them apart as well. Going for my repairs on my artillery as well, and forming my own walls while I'm at it. So again, tanks can attack into my infantry because I also have this mech here, and of course the artillery is here to defend as well. So regardless that I only got the one hit, so regardless that I only got the one hit on this medium tank, and it's going to become a 9. Look at my funds. I'm 21,500. I'm short. I need something. I decide to move this tank in the north, this 10, and regroup into a 5. That way I get the funds back, and I can build a Neo tank this turn. Now, specifically for me, I don't like medium tanks. I think medium tanks are too slow, for what they're worth, and it just costs you a little bit too much to keep them alive and get them into position to fight efficiently. Because as you guys can see, they can get shelled by artillery really easily. But with the Neo tank, I can move in. Not only are they stronger offensively and defensively, but they can move in faster and get into the engagements much easier. So that's why I built the Neo tank. And again, build more infantry. Gotta keep my walls up. As long as I have the artillery, he won't really do anything nasty to my walls. So, gets the first shot on my artillery. Then it gets the second strike on my other artillery. I think that was a mistake on my part. Yeah, I definitely made a mistake here. I don't know what I was thinking. I messed up. Left my artillery open. Obviously, a medium tank can destroy it in one shot. So I don't know what I was thinking there. But yeah, he got his strikes in. And again, he's moving in with all of his units. And now he has his super once more. So he even suicided his 4 battlecopter on my 8 in the middle, just so he can get his super early. So here we go again. Another Typhoon comes in. 2 HP damage, rain, and halves my fuel. So again, he's getting all these hits again. In the north, he just uses his tanks to attack into the wall. He even destroys my artillery too, so yeah. Didn't see that come. Again, I didn't think he was going to get his super, and yet again, I don't know what I was thinking with the artillery in the bottom right, because that opened up a huge hole, and he was able to get so much co-power. Boom. It's looking really bad for me, honestly. At this point, he even uses his tank to attack my battlecopter. So now this battlecopter is a 2, and it can hardly do anything. So was it really worth the investment for the APC? Yes and no, Alright, so again, his super came first, my super is coming second. I gotta figure out what to do again. So, move my infantry back, and then I use my super. So, as you guys can see, 1 hit in the top left, which is great. 1 hit this infantry pile in the center here, and then 1 hit here. My tank that is surrounded on the road did get hit, but that's whatever. It doesn't really matter. It's the only thing that got hit that's mine, so it doesn't matter to me. As well as my battlecopter, but again, it's a 1. It's not gonna do anything. So I need to make my move here. Again, this Neo tank though. Again, I was hoping even with this super I could move it down, but I forgot I can't. So I gotta move this thing in as soon as possible, but because of my silo hitting his medium tank, it can't stand up to my Neo. So he has to retreat that eventually. So I still get a nice couple, engagements here and there. I'm going to try and prevent him from capturing my city as much as I can. But I do get 2 tank kills, so it's not too bad. Not the best recovery, obviously. So, his turn now. And Rocket is in position. I had no choice. Boom, he one-shots me. That's unfortunate. So my mech got a nice hit on a tank, but that's kind of it. There's nothing much more left to do. Tank finishes it off, so it did its purpose. It served its purpose and hit 1 tank, but because of the super, it definitely didn't maximize the potential of building the mech. But it's okay. It's okay. So again, that rocket now is just covering so much ground. He used both units here to attack into my tank here on the city. Don't know why he did that. Again, I have extra defense for my super. Not to mention, there really is no point. But I guess in this case, he wants to generate even more power so he can get his super back out again sooner than I can get my super. Even though his costs more, as long as he generates that power first, he will get it first. So that's probably the idea behind that. So yeah, Neo tank is now here. This rocket is not able to shoot on me, so I get a free kill there. Come in with my tank on the city. Get a nice hit on the infantry. Anti-air is out of position, so my battlecopter is safe to just sit there. And again, I go for the tank kill. Again, I don't know what he was thinking right here in the middle, but hey, free hits for me, right? And I do want to kill that anti-air because I still have a 3 battlecopter that's still around. And then I finish off these tanks. He is going to get the city in the top left, though. There's nothing I can do to stop him unless I want to sacrifice a lot of units. So, use the APC, boost my infantry as well. I want to keep those walls up. Infantry! Here we go. Damage calculator says I can do 5 to 14% damage on this anti-air. Nope. Didn't get it. Well, shit. Okay. It should be damaged, surely. 7 does 3 to 9%. Nope. Of course it doesn't do damage. And, look, not only did I not damage it, even though it was already chipped from a previous infantry, he has a 21 to 23% against retaliation. And he did 3 damage to me. So again, high rolls for him coming into play, but because of that, I do figure that he's not as strong. So I could have attacked maybe with my battlecopter, but if I'm wrong and I got the lowest possible percentages on every engagement, the battlecopter would have died, and that wouldn't have been good. So I decided not to attack it. I built another battlecopter though, so I need to get the battlecopters out there, because he built one too, in which mine are stronger, but battlecopters also move around the map much easier since there's so many, there's mountains, there's forests, so I gotta get those guys out there as much as I can. So again, he's taking engagements with his tanks. Like I said, I can't stop the capture in the north unless I sacrifice units. Neo tank in the bottom is going for repairs, and he's retreating a little bit. He can't do anything against my Neos, so slight edge for me in that department. So, my turn. And my battlecopter moves straight left. I do finish off the tank, and I try to move in and do as much damage to his tank. I know I lost the city, so I'm not going to bother. Sorry about that, I pressed the wrong button. APC boost though, I use it to block as well. So the APC, while it served its purpose, it's going to serve a double purpose, in which it'll act as a wall and give me extra power charge as well. So it's not going to total waste. And it's boosted a couple infantry here and there. Not much else I can do in the bottom right, so I do move into defensive positioning, retreating while not giving up too much. I unfortunately don't have a battlecopter or anti-air to counter this battlecopter here. He got there first. Unfortunately, I wanted to keep the tanks up compared to the amount of forces here. So I had to take the hits with the battlecopter. The only good news is that he's using the battlecopter to attack infantry and not like tanks. So that gives me a slight edge since I'm not wasting too much. APC moves into block. I am going to try and take my city back in the top, as well as, you know, push a little bit further in, doing some damage, getting some kills here and there. Battlecopter is still technically out of position. I can only cover half of my army. The top half is not covered, so unfortunately his battlecopter has another turn to do another free attack. Bottom right, a Neo tank moves in, gets a free kill. Nothing can attack me unless he wants to use his medium tank to attack me, which probably wouldn't be the smartest thing. And of course, I again, because of all the repairing I have to do, I have no funds to build anything, so I gotta constantly build infantry. In fact, I even base skipped and covered my base so I couldn't finish repairs. Yeah, I'm just not making the money up, especially since I lost that city. That 2k advantage is now gone. It's equalized. That also doesn't help me. Not to mention, his power is right around the corner. I never know if he's going to use his regular power or his super. So there's a lot of things I have to consider every single turn I'm playing this. So yeah, going into this turn, do apologize. Again, Battlecopter has another chance to just do a free strike, so it does hit my 9. But I do get my city back. He destroyed my APC in one shot. So again, that's power charge for me to help balance it out a little bit more. So in the end, we both had an APC built, and we both destroyed it. So that's unfortunate. The biggest unfortunate is mine lost 2 HP due to his super. So I don't get the full charge back. And he moves into a position here. Big ball of units. Even my Neo Tank can't attack into that. So I gotta be careful. I was thinking, is there any way I can get and attack that rocket launcher? Even just damage it. Unfortunately, not this turn. I just don't have the units to do so. So again, I have to move back in the top. I got the city back, and that's all that matters. So I have the 2k advantage again. But I don't have as many forces as I would like, so I need to just play defense. And again, more artilleries, more infantry walls. That's all I can do right now. So right now he has, even though I have the value and unit lead, he has the slight advantage because he has this big ball of units that can just stomp over me if I don't play my units right. So, you know, and then of course he's getting free shots. Every turn he's getting more free shots because I can't do anything about it. So this is now day 25, or this is the second half of day 25, and again I moved my walls in a way where if he attacks my tank from a road, it's going to be beneficial for me. He can't one-shot my infantry, so I'm safe. Battlecopter is out of range of his Battlecopter, as well as covering my entire army in the north now, so that's great. And again, I take small engagements in the center, reinforcing with the artillery. He can't do anything. I'm even threatening his city and comm tower, if anything. I do move my units in a way in the bottom where if he does somehow attack me, it's not going to be good because his medium tanks and tanks could get hit by my artilleries. And my Neo Tank's still there. There's nothing there that he can use to attack it, except for his medium tank. Now, I was thinking this turn, specifically this turn, there's no way. There's no way he gets this super. That's 30,000k he has to generate. 30,000 funds. 30k, not 30,000k. 30k. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of, you know, sacrificing he has to do, if anything. So, anti-air moves in, kills my Battlecopter. It is down to 23 fuel. I did stop the capture for half a turn. Is it worth it? I don't know. Gets a hit, kills it. Medium tank does engage my Neo tank, so now that 30k is now down to 9,000. 9,000 straight. And he did something a little unexpected. So he's attacking everything. He is going for his super. He's attacking everything. Next up. He goes for the next cap. Next up, he uses his new medium tank and attacks into my Battlecopter. That generates so much. Not only did he do 2 damage to me, but he also took 2 damage back. In which, when he takes damage, by the way, he gets a lot more co-power. He gets the full value back. So first off, again, percentage-wise, 13 to 22%. And he rolled super high again. Regardless of that hitting, he would have got his super this turn because he's taking all these sacrificial engagements. But it's just a little upsetting that all these high rolls kept happening. My luck was pretty bad. Almost at no point during this match did you guys see my tanks or anything, you know, do luck dependent attacks, really. Maybe little minuscule ones like a 1 HP attack, but other than that, I didn't do any luck damage stuff. But he just kept attacking into everything, and he got his super again. So here we go again. Obviously, I have mine as well. But again, look at the damage. It's incredible. And even with my extra 19k, I still won't even match his value at this turn. So rocket moves back as well, so he can't do it. So look at this rocket. Protecting everything. My Neo tank is now even lower than his medium tank. It's crippled. Not much I can do. So obviously I gotta use my super again. Second, I do move my infantry out, get a kill, get this infantry kill. That was manipulating the way my super was working. So then I use my super now. So you guys can see the damage here. One fired in the middle, the infantry one obviously shot right here. This guy was the main target right here, and then it shot twice in the bottom corner, destroying all of his vehicles. That right there was a huge game changer. By manipulating my missiles to shoot on those tanks and medium tank, the only thing here that's threatening me is this rocket launcher. So let's go. Also, I'm going to use some infantry in the center to mop up his guys. Some nice free hits. So first off, artillery kills tank. Infantry kills infantry. Other tank moves in, kills infantry. Neo, 4 HP Neo tank attacks his rocket launcher. Does half damage. That's perfect. This tank can attack my Neo tank if he wants. I don't care. There's nothing here to stop me now. There's nothing. So I just roll on through, attacking everything. So now he has nothing to stop my units. So these artilleries are coming in handy. Infantry won't do too much damage to them, so it's not a big deal. And I do launch my counterattack in the north. Even as weak as I am still taking the engagements. So on all fronts, I have made a good counterattack, and I'm still building more artillery to help defend, as well as more infantry. I do need to get these infantry out. I even forego the city and let him have it. So again, we switched cities again. Rocket moves back. I should probably change the music now because super's over. So yeah, not bad. Not bad counterattack. I actually won out on that. I actually won out on that because I got the hit on the rocket launcher. Had I not gotten the hit on the rocket launcher, it would have been a huge disadvantage for me going forward. So even though he's mopping up some units in the bottom right, he has nothing to reinforce it. Top left, same thing. His tanks are just kind of taking minuscule hits. But I have some healthy tanks coming in, as well as my artilleries. So there's not much else he can do. And again, once more, 0 infantry. He has no infantry to fight and capture. So again, that's the biggest key in this game, is he never really has infantry going up to capture my cities. He may have gained the vehicle advantage, but at no point is he able to capture anything. So I just use all my units to wipe out the rest of the units in the bottom right. I can't capture yet, but I do have some infantry recovering as well as coming in. So eventually I will be able to capture that city back. So again, taking some engagements. There's a nice hit right there. And again, my artilleries move in. He can't attack into me. His units are just not strong enough to do so. So my artilleries will get nice hits if he stays around. Helicopter again, and more infantry. I need the infantry to reinforce my walls as well as capture. So I didn't see its artillery initially, but it gets the first strike on my tank. Helicopter moves down to retreat. Destroys me. Destroys my infantry on the bottom right. Uses his tank to attack my Neos. Did 2 damage. I knew he was going to do that eventually. Again, he wants to get that power charge and decrease my Neo tank from fighting. So he didn't attack into this. He destroyed 1 tank. I do get to kill this guy too. So that works out for me. And he builds another battlecopter and more infantry. So now he's realizing he needs to get infantry out as well. So this is day 28, the second half at least. Again, I move my battlecopter out, tanks retreats. I don't really want to stick around too much in the bottom right, just because I did what I had to do, and now I'm going to get the advantage again. With my artilleries out, defense is, I could slowly progress forward. So, as you guys can see, this match is very, 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 very even. No one's really getting the biggest advantage. In the end, if you guys take a look, I have the slight advantage in every front. Just slightly, though, right? So he gets another hit on my artillery, but again, this time sacrificing his medium tank entirely to 2 artilleries. Not sure if that's the brightest move. His rocket goes on his HQ to recover, as well as stay in range of the Neo tank. So if I'm trying to recover, I can't do that anymore. And of course, more infantry. So this is now day 29, and as you guys can see, at the end of his turn, his value and units don't even equal mine, or are above. And as first player, that's kind of a huge disadvantage. So even though I lost a lot of funds to repairs, specifically that Neo tank recovering 3 HP, I still have 11,000, and it's my turn. I haven't taken any engagements yet, so you guys can tell that I am winning this match. So I do, go and fight. Yeah, I got 1 hit on the medium tank. The other one's going to go for repairs with my artillery. I move in my other units. Yeah, there's not really much he can do. I got a nice wall on the bottom, got nice walls in the middle, got nice walls on the top. Not much else for him to do. So, as you guys can see, I still have the advantage. However, he offered a draw, and I did accept it. So that is the end. That is the end of the match. We drew right here. Biggest reason why this ended up in a draw is because we were playing another match. It was a Olaf. I was Olaf versus him, Eagle. And even though my co-power is much smaller than his, it ended up in a very stalled, horizontal wall versus wall match. And if either player attacked, the attacker would lose in the next turn. So we decided to draw that match too. Now, I would say personally, I was going to lose that Olaf versus Eagle match. This one, he clearly has I clearly have the advantage in this match. So I'm pretty sure I'm not sure if that's the same mindset that he had, but that's the mindset that I had going into this. And I thought to myself, all right, you can have the other one as a, mental, you won that. This mentally, for me, I won this match. Getting the hits with my silos and hitting that rocket with my Neo tank earlier, that just decided the match for me, I think. Because as you guys can see, I have the units now to push back on all fronts compared to him. So, in the end, it was a really fun while frustrating match. But, it is just a matter of the superpowers coming into play. And while Drake's is powerful in its own right, Rachel's is just as strong as well, as long as I get the right hits with the silos. Obviously, whenever it hit the infantry in the middle, I was kind of disappointed just because of the weight. I wish I could control the silos myself. That would have controlled the game entirely. I would have destroyed my opponent. But obviously, that's not how Rachel works. And, that's just the way things go. But yeah, it was a really fun match. So this guy is definitely no beginner, and that's why again, like I said in the very beginning of the video, I think he's an alt account. But regardless of that being the case, we are both equally skilled. I think we're kind of around the same level of play. So good job for you, Wave Goodbye. You played a really strong match. Obviously, like I said, I admit that I probably lost the Eagle and Olaf match, but this one I definitely had the edge. So, nice draws. Thanks for playing. And obviously, if you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like button, comment down below what you guys thought, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I know, a little disappointing that it ended up in a draw, but it's just the way the match was going. It's just, this is the 29th day. Honestly, it probably would have taken another 20 days or so just to finish this match. Just the way things are going, it would probably take like two more supers, or, you know, things like that. Like, it would just take too long. And so the eventuality is that I probably would have won. Not saying I would have for sure, but just the way things are going, I've always had the edge. But, you know, instead of dragging both matches out, this one and the other one, we decided to draw. I think we were both kind of stressed out from both matches, and, you know, a draw is perfectly fine. Again, these are just public matches. They don't mean anything, but it is nice to see that, you know, we have good sportsmanship about it. But yeah, that's it for this one. Again, I do apologize. I haven't been uploading anything. I've been sick. I do apologize for my pauses in this video. I do hope to get out more content soon, so hang in there. But for now, that's it for me. That's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Have a great day, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.